Imagine crossing an invisible line on a map. Same exact elevation, same weather, same people. But you take one step across this phantom border, and bam, your household wealth instantly drops by 25%.
Actually, it gets worse. Cross that exact same line, and a child is suddenly 6% more likely to suffer from stunted physical growth. And get this, it's not from a modern famine, not a recent war. It's because of something that happened 400 years ago. So today, we're diving into this incredible piece of data detective work. It's an explainer that completely shatters everything we thought we knew about history, inequality, and the true root causes of poverty. Seriously, prepare to have your common sense completely slapped in the face.
All right, part 1, the crime scene, anomaly in the Andes. Let's travel up into the mountains of Peru. We're looking at a modern spatial anomaly. Look at this snake-like black line cutting right through the Andes. On one side, communities are thriving. On the other, trapped in poverty. And the crazy thing is, this boundary doesn't exist on any modern map. It's literally a ghost. Now, researchers use the ultimate geographic twin test here. They sampled data right on the edge of this border. Elevation, identical. Climate, identical. Ethnicity, identical. The data absolutely proves the environment isn't stealing their wealth. Human history is. Which brings us to part 2, the suspect, a 16th century nightmare. So who's the culprit? Well, it's not modern corruption or bad geography. Back in 1573, the Spanish Empire created the Mita. It was this horrific, unrelenting forced labor draft. Basically, if you lived inside that black line, 1/7 of your adult men were sent off to lethal silver and mercury mines. It was a death sentence, and it ran for over 200 years.
Part 3, the giant plot twist, the good bad guys.
Okay, obviously extracting labor causes poverty, right? But how did it create this exact boundary? Common sense tells us that greedy elite landowners monopolizing the land causes long-term poverty. But the data proves that completely wrong. The Mita areas are poor today specifically because the state banned large private landlords from operating there.
Let's map out this mind-bending logic. Step 1, the Spanish state desperately needs labor for its mines. Step 2, they ban elites, private estates, haciendas, because landlords would compete for that labor. Step 3, the peasants are left totally defenseless. Step 4, no powerful locals around to lobby for roads or property rights. And Step 5, total modern isolation. Part 4, the landlord paradox, the logic of lesser evils. We've got to fundamentally rethink who the real villain was here. The data points to a terrifying reality. Having a local tyrant was actually better than a distant extractive empire. The Spanish state was so lethal that a greedy local landlord was literally your best protection. He wanted you working his fields, so he fought tooth and nail to keep you out of those silver mines.
Now, don't get me wrong. These elite landlords weren't humanitarians. They acted purely out of greed. But in protecting their own workforce, they inadvertently secured land rights. They demanded public goods. They lobbied for infrastructure. They essentially forced the government to care about their region.
And the data gives us hard, physical proof of this. Just look at the difference here. Regions just outside the meta boundary have vastly superior road networks today, but inside the boundary, nearly 36 fewer meters of road per square kilometer. Why? Because historically, those rich landlords outside the line demanded roads for their massive estates.
You can see those dark spots outside the middle line. That shows high road density. Now, those massive elite estates, they were broken up and given back to the people in the 1970s. The landlords are long gone, but the roads survived.
And those surviving roads provide a permanent economic lifeline. Without them, the families trapped inside the old Miataf boundary are completely stranded. They're restricted to subsistence farming. They can't get goods to market. They are economically suffocated by an invisible border drawn way back in 1573.
Part 5. Echoes of the past. Biology remembers.
Because the consequences aren't just in their wallets. They are biologically stamped into their descendants. Look at the dark clusters on this map. That highlights childhood stunting, malnutrition, literally restricting physical growth. And it perfectly traces the inside of the Melissa boundary. History is literally stealing food off the plates of children today. Now, to be completely rigorous, we do have to acknowledge one data limitation. It's impossible to perfectly track the ancestors who managed to flee the Mita centuries ago.
Did the most capable people just run away, leaving a permanent gap? We can't know for absolute sure. But even with that unknown, the sheer lack of physical infrastructure perfectly explains the massive poverty gap we see today.
This completely rewrites a famous academic theory. For decades, experts claimed that high initial inequality, massive landlords, was the absolute root cause of Latin America's modern poverty. This data proves that theory incomplete. The unchecked, crushing machinery of a distant state is far, far more destructive than local inequality. So it leaves us with this really chilling realization. If a forgotten Spanish labor draft from 1573, a ghost institution that was abolished centuries ago, can still dictate road networks/wealth and literally stunt a child's physical growth today, what other ancient invisible lines are secretly controlling your life right now?